Okay.
Hi, and welcome to another video from Juniper Farms. Earlier today we harvested our first radish crop in these 2 squares. Actually, my children did it, and if I do this correctly, you're about to see what they did.
Got my 2 helpers here, Asher and Aislinn, and they are going to help. They're going to help pull up these radishes. So I'm going to point, and they are going to pull. So let's start here. Go ahead and start pulling. And this is how you guys are going to do it, kiddos. We're just going to pull them right up and then set them like that.
They're tiny.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it this one?
Right, go ahead. Oh, that is a tiny one. Look at that.
Was this a baby one?
Yes, honeys.
Oh, no.
Okay, come on. Let's keep pulling.
All right, I'm guessing this one, right?
Yep.
Whoa.
Look at that good-looking radish.
Are we going to be able to eat these ones?
Pull.
Wow.
Oh, look at that one. That made a neat radish.
You pull the radish, honey.
Nope, that's this one bolting?
You pull the radish when...
Is
pull
this
it.
one bolting?
Pull.
No. Yeah. Nope, this is a baby one.
Yeah, see, those ones
Sorry,
are starting to...
Sorry, Mr. Baby.
No, it's okay. These are okay. Let's throw them over there. Look at that big fat radish. Look at that big fat radish.
This one is
So proud of this
thin.
radish.
It's also sort of white. Bug.
Honey, you're in the farm. Bugs are going to happen. Go ahead, pull.
Good bugs are part of
Nope,
life.
that's a baby.
Pull it out, honey. Pull it out. There you go.
This one has
Pull.
tiny leaves.
Look at that. Go ahead and throw it over there.
It had tiny leaves.
They're right. They still have flavors.
We're going to just go ahead and...
Just pull them all out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting tiny radishes.
And welcome back. So, one of the benefits of using the square foot gardening method like we do here is that we can right away replant the area. So normally, after a few years, you wouldn't have to amend the soil hopefully as much if you're putting your own compost, if you have worm castings from vermicomposting, something that we're going to be doing in the future. But also, because we use the square foot gardening method, it does optimize the amount of space and the amount of vegetables and fruits we can grow during the season. And because of that, I'm going to show you what we're going to plant in these 2 squares next. Because it is the start of June, we are getting ready to plant our first pumpkins because we would like to have some pumpkins for October, not only for carving but for pie and whatnot. So I'm going to show you how I get these 2 squares started, because with a pumpkin you need 2 squares, 2 square feet of growing room. So I'm going to show you exactly how I prep the soil and do the actual planting, and I'll be right back. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of amend the soil a little bit. And by that I mean I'm actually just going to add a little more of the raised bed and potting mix that I used to first fill my raised beds. I'm really just going to reach in here and grab some just to make sure that I have enough soil, and there's a little bit of boost in some microbes and nutrition. I am going to kind of mix it around just a little bit, just so that I loosen up. I really want to loosen up that soil so that those roots have a chance to really dig down into the earth and don't have to work so hard. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm just getting it mixed in. Now the other thing is, because it's a pumpkin, like I mentioned before, we are going to do it in 2 square feet. Now, we have our own compost here, and the next thing I'm adding is a couple of handfuls of coffee grounds.
Go.
While coffee grounds don't give an immediate boost of nitrogen, over time they do provide phosphorus and nitrogen, which is something that is imperative for a good plant production. So I'm just going to mix in a couple of handfuls of coffee grounds, and these I've saved over the last couple days. And honestly, whatever's left over is just going to go right into my compost bin. So I just want to get that good and mixed.
And we're actually going to do a little bit of an experiment today as well. Because I know that pumpkins are going to take a little while to take off, I'm actually going to plant my pumpkin right here in the middle, and I'm going to plant another set of radishes around the edges, with the hopes that by the time the pumpkin is starting to really take root and take off, I can harvest yet another square or two of radishes for a little bit later. Even though I do have some more squares planted of radishes, I really like radishes, so any opportunity I can have more radishes, I'm going to take it. And who knows? I mean, this is our first year, and this is kind of what it's about. So next I'm going to show you the spacing and how exactly I get my spacing in my squares. So the first thing I'm going to do is use a pencil, just any kind of pencil you have laying around the house. And this kind of helps me mark out where I'm going to plant. So I know for sure that I'm going to plant one of these triple threat pumpkins right in the middle of the two squares. So I'm literally going to just put a little mark there, and that's where I'm going to put my seed. So now with the radishes, I'm going to plant radishes all around there. So I'm going to make a couple of little holes. Now radishes, you can do 16 per square. So I'm going to try and do that, but I'm also going to try and give a little root room to my pumpkin so that as the roots start to flourish, it can really take hold. Now you can see how tilling that soil has made it real easy for me to just kind of dig in with my pencil, and you really don't have to go deep. In fact, with the pumpkin I'm going to go deeper, but with the radishes you're just really going to put it right under the soil just so they can start to bury down. So then what I have here is a triple threat pumpkin seed. Now I got these from Burpee, although I am looking into some seed saving. I'm looking into other ways that our family can procure seeds, including getting some heirloom seeds from some seed swaps and things like that. In fact, if you have any ideas or good hookups, as it were, for where I can get some seed swaps, please put them right down in the comments. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and put in, I'm going to put in 2 right there, and the reason I'm putting 2 is I'm hoping that both of them will sprout, but if both of them do, I can always thin out one of them. So that's the first thing. Now the next thing I'm going to do is grab my radish. Now as you can see, my radishes, actually I picked up some radishes that came on this, like, honest to goodness, it feels like paper towels that they put the radish seeds in. And I know this was for correct spacing for those who do row planting. However, since I don't do that, I have noticed I just kind of pull them right off there and I just drop them right in. So you see here what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and just dropping those seeds right into the holes there. I pull them right off this paper and in it goes. And I don't really sow these very deep, maybe 1/4 of an inch, just so that it has plenty of room in both ways. And you know, like I said, this is an experiment. For all I know, this won't work, but it's good to find out one way or the other. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue with this, and then I will be right back. I have went ahead and planted the rest of the radishes, and you did see me plant a pumpkin. Now, so what I'm going to do now is I've already mixed up in my nice little watering can here some organic plant food. It's Bonnie's organic plant food, and I'm going to go ahead and wet it down real well, make sure that they get moist and start to germinate. So I went ahead, and as you see, I've got everything nice in water. And if you noticed earlier, I've started to mulch actually around some of our more growing crops, our peppers and beans and cucumbers. And that is because we're coming into the hot season where I live out here in zone 9B.
And I just want to make sure that I try to keep water evaporation to a minimum so that our crops are getting as much nutrients as they can and they're not drying out. Want to keep that ground good. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas on videos you'd like to see from Juniper Farms, please put them right down there in the comments below. And thanks again for watching.